Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Let's get into some Legacy gameplay in the new Legacy format. Well, early days, of course. So what I want to do early in the format is to try and attack early and often, and I thought Eldrazi Aggro was a reasonable place to take on the format. This red version has been doing well recently, and I really like it. Line Breakers we have played for a while, but even the card Eldrazi Obligator is just a good threat. It's a hasty creature. It can, get in there with some damage swings, good against Murktide Regent, good against Baragoyf, good against some of the stuff that generally stabilizes against us. We have 4 copies of Wastegate Battlemage. This card handles Saga, Ring, Murktide Regent, bounces, tokens, just a solid card. As always, we're trying to lean on Chalice of the Void and Kozilek's Command to have utility in the format. If that is true, I think this deck is viable. Mana base, somewhat straightforward here. 8 Rainbow lands, Cavern, of course, the Bane of Blue decks. Bunch of Soul lands here, and then 4 Wastelands and a single basic. Standard stuff here with Fleshraker and Thoughtnut, and I really love Reality Smasher. The Hasters, they complement each other quite nicely. We're looking to slam dunk onto our opponent and make sure the game goes shorter rather than longer. Sideboard addresses heavy anti-graveyard, heavy anti-artifact. So that would be Mystic Forge, Painter, Oops, whatever's left of Reanimator. A little bit of creature interaction, and a versatile anti-combo card in Flute. Good against, Sneak Attack, Doomsday, you name it. And then Warping Whale, which is the card I'm the least certain about. It kills some stuff, and it counters some cards that are very annoying against us. And I guess I don't have to... Well, I hope I don't have to make the 1/1 creature, because that would be, not too exciting. So, yeah, let's get into some games and try and aggro out some unsuspecting strangers. All right, round 1. I'm on the play here. Unplayable hand. Let's click the mulligan button. The sand is a lot better, so now I have to figure out if I think my opponent, which is a known Stompy gamer, Ancient Tomb enjoyer of the past. I don't think that's too reasonable. I think I should get rid of Battle Mage, play my Chalice game 1. So while this might not work out against this particular opponent, it will be the way to play this deck in a vacuum. So I like it. We play that Chalice, and then we go back-to-back Thoughtnuts here, probably. Crossing our fingers we don't get Wastelanded in the meantime. I think that's the biggest thing about this deck is Wasteland is super swingy card. Sometimes it doesn't matter because we have, a bunch of redundancy, and sometimes it just makes us super crippled. With that being said, let's see. Opponent on a mull to 5. Does that change anything with regards to the Chalice? I don't think it does, to be honest. I think we're supposed to play Chalice for 1 here. Again, could have looked this guy up, could have done a little bit of that, but it's not really, when I play in leagues and, record, it's not really about, beating that guy for all, at all costs. It's more about showcasing decks, and I think it makes a lot of sense here to play in the dark, as I would play. So we're playing the mirror match, Chalice of the Void, nice card. I think I should, even though Fleshraker is a great card, I think I should still Thoughtnut Seer my opponent here. They're on a mull to 5. We actively want to take their best card, which is actually questionable what that is. So let's see. If my opponent bounces the Thoughtnut Seer, I guess I don't really care about that. Let's go ahead and take the K command. K command is out of there. The opponent has good draws, of course, with a ton of mana available. Let's see what they can do here. Also just good sequencing here, land sequence. If I'm playing a Wasteland deck, they want to lose that card. The Eye of Ugin over the Temple. Ooh, nice draw. All right, so we have a funny game here on our hands. We both mulligan to 5, with my Chalice being a dead card. So they take my Kozilek's Command, which is a little bit funny. I think what I'm supposed to do here is attack and offer the trade. Then we both draw a card, and then I can kind of take it from there. So we both draw a card. Nice smasher. Very nice smasher. Let's play Eldrazi Temple. Let's play Thought-Knot Seer to see if there's anything better than the Battle Mage. And pass. So now the opponent needs a serious banger. Here's the courtyard. And what was the draw? Do we have a game, or is the game over? They drew another Battle Mage. So that is fine. The opponent draws a card. Feel like I should redeploy. Oh, wow. Nice draw. So I guess I should not redeploy. Okay. Very nice draw there into the Fleshraker. Here's Ugin. Okay, so now I can kind of do everything, I think. Let's see how this works. Fleshraker. Reality Smasher. And the Thought-Knot Seer. Not because we're snagging anything, but because we want to get the 4/4 into play. Yep, targeting the opponent. Hanging a little bit further, seeing the land. I'm not sure we knew about, but maybe we did. Get in there with the Smasher, and now my opponent needs a banger of a draw, or that card will kind of bury my opponent. K-Command would be insane. So there certainly are outs on the side of my opponent. I think I'm 1 mana off. I have Ugin. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. They found a banger of a card. All right. All right. This matchup keeps on giving. That's cool. So the Linebreaker itself has trample. Here's a 7/2. Turn off auto yields. A 7/2 that does nothing. I mean, block. Yeah, that's all good. So this one itself has trample. I'll have to think about that. So let's see. I'm not sure attacking with Thought-Knot Seer is the move. I think this is where I just attack with Smasher and keep my eyes on the prize. Double block here would stabilize in theory, but I think I would be quite happy with that. The opponent's 2 mana off from my Ugin, which is important. Opponent takes the damage. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So play the land, because if I brick for another turn, draw a land, then I can activate. I have Ugin. Linebreaker. Onto itself this time. Attacking with an 8/3. So let's see. Feel like I might have to get that card out of there. Then the opponent draws a card. I'm not thrilled about that, I must say. If I don't, I'm at 3, and then I just have to do it next time. Because attacking, let's say I full send next turn. Let's see. Then the opponent can just block. Then I guess they lose if they take the damage here. Let's say I draw a creature. Cast that creature. King for 2. The opponent can now... Yeah, I feel like they can too easily survive, so I have to get that card out of there. I don't love this at all. Trampling over for a bunch. The opponent draws a card. Nice play. Wasteland. And it's all about the last card, I feel like. The opponent killing that off is a good play. For exactly this reason. Very good play from the opponent. So, the fact that I played it out could be questionable. So what happens if I attack with these two? Then the opponent can trade off the Raker. maybe that is fine. If they trade off the Raker, they have less toughness for this guy. What if I just attack with Smasher? Will the opponent go to 1? Maybe this is a fine attack. Yeah, Bear heads up with the Wasteland. So I guess my play was to play it out. That was better because then I could, if I draw land here, I could activate Ugin. Yeah, that's a tough one. Let's see if the opponent got there. It looks like I'm losing to Obligator. Yeah, I think the Obligator got me here. Take that. Ping. Attack with a Trampler. And the opponent got there. That was really cool to see. It was a shame with the Cavern that I was 1 off. If I was 2 off, I could hold the Cavern and beat Wasteland. This time I'm not sure it was a realistic play. Would have been darn sweet though. So let's let's try and understand this Warping Rail against the matchup. Power toughness 1 or less, so that would be, in theory, can kill an Obligator. And that's about it. And then counter a sorcery is not going to happen. Create the 1/1 is better than nothing. So that's kind of the logic here. All right, that was a tough one. I was doing pretty well there. The opponent had a slightly better draws in the clutch. That's how it goes sometimes. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Turn 1, I have Ugin. Turn 2, good things. Also, my opponent played well against Thought-Knot Seer. They bounced it, played their stuff out. They traded off when they needed to, preserve their life total. Worth noting in the end there, when they jump block with a single token down to 2, they would still have lost to any creature. So maybe the perfect play is to block with 2 creatures there to not lose to a random creature. Let's see what this is. This could be some Spirit Guide action, of course. Okay, the Lord. Okay, that's a cool one. So now let's see how much damage I can do. Eldrazi Temple, 1 mana Flesh Raker. Okay, so that pedal makes me even more explosive. So let's see. Flesh Raker. Pedal. Pedal. And now I can go Reality Smasher. I can even bounce that card. I think I should do that. So let's see how that works. So let's see how this works. Like this, like this. So pay that one, pay that one. Bounce the 2/2. Just a decent tempo play, nothing crazy. Sacrifice, sacrifice. Smasher. And now I have to make a choice with the Obligator. Do I think that card is gonna get Thought-Knot Seared next turn? That is very possible. Okay. Well, let's do that. So now I could haste my Flesh Raker. Should I do that? Okay. Let's try and haste the Flesh Raker. And now Let's attack for how much? 8? 11? Pretty absurd turn here. I dealt almost 20 damage. I dealt 19 damage here. Okay, well, that even surprised me there. Pretty sweet draw. That pedal made it escalate quickly. All right, now we're going to be on the draw, and this is the real challenge, right? So this hand is losing to the opponent being super explosive. But is it better than a mulligan? Let's try and understand this. I can go turn 2 line breaker and kind of get going. I think this is okay, but who knows? I'm hoping to be up against a medium hand. Okay. K command. So I feel like I have 2 options here. I can play the Temple out, which is my best land, which incentivizes my opponent to wasteland more often. I could also play out my worst land, which I'm not even sure what is, to be honest. This game could come down to a damage race. So what if I go Ancient Tomb Pass? How likely am I to get wastelanded? The thing is, if I don't get wastelanded, then I have to tap this land over and over, and thus it's more realistic that I end up losing the race. So maybe the move here is Temple. So that if I get wasted, at least, you know, we get to trade turns. And if I don't get wasted, I have my best land in play. This Ayavugan opening smells a lot of some Fleshraker stuff that I cannot come back from. But that's how it goes. We don't have any agency. After we keep our hand, we don't have any power over that, right? That's more of a pick your poison type shenanigans. Okay, Fleshraker. Let's see if they can have as good a turn 2 that I did. So I feel like this is K command, kill the token. Draw into Wasteland. Not bad. Not bad. Maybe I'm supposed to now Wasteland the Ayavugan. Let's try that to save time. I am cognizant that my opponent has the Fleshraker in play, and they could waste me back. But I'm trying to play this game like when you play against Delver, you know, they fetch for Volcanic Island. It seems a little bit weak. Okay, second of Ayavugan. I was about to say like Gaia's Cradle metaphor, but where the second one is always the punishing one. Anyway, my story about Delver and wastelanding them with a Delver in play, I guess that fell to the ground, that analogy. That's the way. When you get your Ayavugan wastelanded, you have the second one, like, that's the dream. That's everything I want to see. So Linebreaker attacking for 4, trying to match up in the race here. I think that's decent. And now the opponent will wasteland me next turn. And I'm a little bit in the dirt. The opponent's handily winning the race. And that's, you know, we accepted those terms when we kept the hand. We're losing to the good hands. We're battling with the medium hands. And mulliganing gives us less of a chance overall. So that's just how it goes. It didn't exactly develop how I wanted it to here. When you wasteland the Ayavugan and they follow up, it's usually a blowout. Kind of like the cradle thing I talked about. I feel like game 1 was the one I should have put away. All right. The opponent was the better Stompy player. Let's see if we can be exactly that in the next matches. All right, quick message here. MyMetify is the home of future legacy and vintage champions. I have all my personal guides. I have my exclusive guest content. I'm hosting giveaways. I'm hosting tournaments. I'm offering coaching. And first and foremost, I have the best community in the business. The Barony is full of players who are happy to just learn, get better, share their journey, and simply just rack up top 8 after top 8 and share the passion with the other guys in the community. So if you want to join over there, I would be delighted to see you. And thank you so much for your continued support. Now let's get back to playing some Magic. All right, more Magic the Gathering. We have Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void, and 5 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So we will keep our hand. Let's see if Chalice is better against this opponent. Last time it was embarrassing. Here's Wasteland, and this time it's not really going to connect. We have no idea what we're up against. Wasteland teaches us very little. Ooh, nice Thought Knot Seer. So I think this time I'm supposed to play, I have Ugin. Then next turn, Thought Knot Seer, and if they show a blue source, we use the pedal to pay for days. Basic Swamp. Okay. So I guess we learn now what we're up against. Eldrazi Obligator, probably a decent draw. Okay, we're playing against blue-black Tempo with a highly speculative hand, to say the least. They can currently cast nothing. So I should probably take the Bowmasters, because that's like a double jump blocker and more or less the only card they can cast. So now I could play a 3-1 with haste. A 3-1 with haste. That is 3 more damage coming in, starting from this turn. I think I'm going to K-Command next turn. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let's play a 3-1 with haste here. Okay. The opponent's seen enough. Blue-black Tempo. So removal spells are super decent. What is it that we don't necessarily want here? So I really want the 2 Dismembers. So let's see. Paying for days is good. Stealing Murktide is good. Bouncing Murktide is good. I guess we can cut one of those and maybe cut something like a Smasher. Is that crazy? Cutting the Smasher hedges a little bit against getting wasted and having somewhat of a low resource game. So I think that makes sense. So even though the card is very good, it's more now the opponent is cognizant of what's going on, so they're more likely to, you know, hold up Consign, prioritize Wasteland, and then maybe I have to make a penny into a 20 with some of the lower curve stuff. Let's see if I'm right about that, or I'll be missing Reality Smasher all night. Ooh, we cannot keep this hand. That's very, very bad hand. This is a lot better. So let's think about this. This will really be a grind. So let's think about, is bouncing Tameo? No, I don't think that's any good. I think I get rid of this card. I don't love it. We're kind of in a similar spot where we hope our opponent's draw is mediocre, because if it's not, we're losing to it. Turn 1 Nethergoyf. That card looks like nothing right now, but will be better later. Dismember is not a bad draw. So maybe what I should do here is go Mountain, Dismember. Maybe let them play first. Because if they actually, let's say, go, I don't know, ponder something and they end up dazing my dismember, I think that's acceptable because that daze is gonna be good against my chalice. Here's brainstorm. Yes. So a little bit scary situation when they start attacking us and our aggression looks questionable. Bobble, so that they know about our next draw. And if they fetch, it's up to a 3/4. Let's see if they do it. They don't for some reason, so I don't know what that means. If you're not interested in fetching here, yeah, who knows? All right, dismember works. Consign is on my mind here. So get the chalice consigned. Let's name Eldrazi, slam Chalice of the Void. So now we get the consign out of them and they kind of need a wasteland. Otherwise, bad things can happen. Oh, wow. This is good for me. Let's see if I get dazed. I don't get dazed. Okay, so Murktide Regent is the card. And Murktide Regent is exactly a card that my Obligator can hope to interact with later. I'm scared now. This is Baragoyf. Okay. Nice one. Okay, here's Baragoyf. Ancient Tomb, decent draw under normal circumstances. So, Linebreaker is the card I want. Linebreaker does nothing, but, you know, at least it sets me up nicely for a good attack next turn. Oh, wow, I didn't pay with my Cavern. That's really funny. That's a classic, look, here's a mountain. I'll play my card. Yeah, I don't recommend not using your Cavern of Souls. That card is just, pre-roll. Maybe my... Okay, Sheltered Edict. Yeah, good one, good one. Sheltered Edict, also just by the virtue of being an edict effect, just doesn't get better. So let's say this was Shoot the Sheriff, right? You shouldn't do it. You should just say, yeah, sure, buddy. But here it was a good play. The opponent mills 0 creatures, which is very good for me. So let's see if I can do anything cool. Petal, not necessarily a bad draw. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. So land, I should Obligator. So let's go Eldrazi Obligator. Pay 2. Swinging with Baragoyf here is not, you know, not necessarily the most impactful thing in the world. Question is, am I going to chum block with the Obligator? That's kind of the question, huh? Am I chum blocking with the Obligator for then to... I guess dig myself into another Obligator? Is that how I win this game? I can also draw the bounce spell. Bounce plus Smasher is not something I can afford. Huh. Okay, so maybe this is time to attack with both, take one more hit, and then hope to line up some double block. But it's not pretty. I hit a Spirit Guide. Nice. Past a turn. I now get hit by a Baragoyf. Wasteland is good. I can take out my Cavern if they have a force, or temple if they don't. More bobbling. Baragov gets in there. So they only hit a Tameo. Very good for me. So right now they're playing under the Chalice. Opponent draws a card. Here's Fleshraker. Does that card help me do both? Let's see. Glaring Fleshraker. Let's just say for the sake of argument, I'm playing with Tomb. That card is amazing right now. So let's count the mana. Fleshraker. Petal. That's 2. Token 3. Okay, so we have to play like this. Let's see. Glaring Fleshraker. Petal. So now that token is a block sacrifice situation. So I actively want that. The problem is the opponent's very likely to have a card like Brazen Borrower, which would crush me hard, but I don't think sacrifice a non-token. Well, that is going to be this card. Another Edict there. Okay. So at least it was an Edict, right? So the Edict could also kill the token. Huh. Maybe the opponent should have done that. Because now I'm kind of setting up this, I'm not going to say a loop, but I'm stabilizing a little bit here. So now I get to sacrifice before damage. And right now my plan is basically just my opponent has mono 1-drops in hand. Or Force of Wills, I guess. That's the way I win this game. If they can follow up with some stuff here, I don't win the game. Wait a minute. Fetching. Yeah. Not ideal. Oh, love to see it. Love to see it. Consigning here. Great play. The opponent held priority here. I thought for a second they wasted a spell, but yeah, this is good. Then they have to replicate, counter the Chalice trigger so that Fatal Push resolves. Great play. Great play, and that probably leaves me in the dirt. Because that Fleshraker was my way to stabilize. Kozilek's command, huh? Well, that is a good draw that kills the Baragov. So kill. I think I'm supposed to do this one. All right, I can pay for days with my Spirit Guide. The opponent unfortunately knows about that. Ooh, that worked. So now I will bottom, draw the K command. Oh, wow, yeah. So that worked out nicely. Now I'm trying to beat my opponent before they find something like Kaito. I guess Kaito doesn't work. Murktide Regent works. And here it is. Now it's going to be a rough one. I don't think I have an out to the Murktide. Here's a Dismember that shrinks it to a 3/3. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. I don't even have a Reality Smasher attack with sneaky Spirit Guide Dismember up my sleeve here, so the tempo opponent gets the best of me despite onboard Chalice. That was a sweet one. Battle Mage against Baragov on the play seems very, very interesting. I should probably do that over a Smasher. Even though Smasher is also a good, let's say, trump card. Maybe I have enough. Maybe, okay, I like the old... I keep forgetting about the Obligators being, you know, good answers, and, you know, Dismember even counts, so... Let's try this out. Go to game 3 and do some reasonable stuff here. 1-1. Playing for the marbles here. Okay, so this hand has a very good potential later. I think that's good enough. Also, the fact that I have 2 Ancient Tombs is solid, so I can play one out turn 1 and not be super sad if it's countered. Okay. Basic Island. So that means the opponent's on some consign stuff. I guess that's pretty good for my Cavern hand. I am sad to see that they learned about it, but I guess it doesn't matter. Uh-huh. Play Fleshraker. Dismember is the only card that would make this turn cycle good for the opponent. No Dismember. Okay. Play land first, then Brainstorm, so a little bit of a weird sequencing here from the opponent. Let's say they find something like Wasteland. Maybe they want to waste the Cavern, Force Will the next play. If they already have Fatal Push, then, you know, it's like a reflex to play out the land. Usually it's good. It's good to wait. When you cannot get dazed, you know, things might change, right? So I just assume I'm getting pushed here, and that's why the opponent kind of fast-tracked to that move. Uh-huh. The opponent fetched a duel here, so that screams Murktide Regent to me. I think what I'm going to do here is develop the Wasteland in case I draw second, play Uncounterable Thoughtnot. There's Murktide Regent. That card is currently not beatable for me. So what I'm hoping to happen here is the opponent, let's see, they kill the Thoughtnot Seer. So let me just check here. If the opponent, if I take the Fatal Push, let's just play around with that thought. What does the opponent do? Now the opponent goes Wasteland my Cavern, probably. Good for me in theory. They play a 5/5. Then I play Obligator, take their 5/5, attack for 12. Yeah, I don't think that's where I want to be. I need to take the Murktide, but it's always good to check that kind of math. Also, I cannot obligate with Hicker or whatever you want to call it. So since they have Force of Will, they'll take this, and they don't know about the second Cavern, so pretty sweet scenario. And now this one will get pushed, which is just a good play. The opponent has 2 unknowns. Mountain, an atrocious draw. Second Cavern is very good, though. So let's see. They get to Brainstorm and hide their best card, which is annoying. Force of Will and Bauble, so I guess in theory that Force is annoying, but I'm going to take the Bauble here. Forgot about this Swamp. So they have a Swamp and 1 unknown. Maybe they found a random blue card here. That would make sense. So I guess playing a 3/1 Obligator is playable. I think they just found they hit a consign on top of the deck, so I guess let them consign is fine. I'm not going to do that. Let's see if they consign the 3/1. They don't. So they didn't have Fatal Push, so I will Wasteland now to keep them off Baragoyf. Delta, pass. Yeah, this is not great. I keep drawing cards that can't seal the deal. So the opponent, if they land Barragoyf next turn, they're in great shape. Down to 5. Yeah, I think I needed one more card to seal the deal here. It's also very possible. No, I think my opponent has blue card Barragoyf. Yeah, I think that's the hand. And then they wanted to navigate to the spot. Oh, they don't. Okay, so maybe they have something here. This card is probably good. If they do have Orcish Bowmasters, what if they have Orcish Bowmasters? Then they kill Chumblock. The next turn I take it and kill them. What if they have Brazen Borrower here? Brazen Borrower is the last card. That's the most likely card, I feel like. Okay. We'll play this card. I'm willing to do this because getting blown out by Bowmaster is, while that is annoying, it's also unlikely, right? They have that card in the deck. They hit it on top with the Brainstorm. I think this has Brazen Borrower written all over it. And I guess I'm ready to take my punishment for that assumption. Let's see. It's okay. So I think they had that card, and let's say Orcish Bowmaster is, like, I have a stronger read. Let's say the card, just for the sake of our argument, was better in the matchup, and I think that card is what they have. Then I don't think I play this card. Then I need to attack, ping, they chum block, they untap, do whatever, and then next turn I beat stuff like Murktide, Barragoyf more handily with his Obligator, because the 3/1 attacker is just not that great against, Bowmasters, right? Bowmasters deals with both easily. So that would be ping 1, block 1, block 1, and then I'm kind of back where I started. So because Brazen was to read, I play Obligator. If it was Bowmasters, I shouldn't do it. So yeah. All right, we got the job done barely against Tempo. Let's play one more. All right, we play against a good friend. Local guy to me, Martin, also makes some YouTube. Go check him out if you're interested in Doomsday content. Land, Pedal, Pass. So this kind of has turn 2 Doomsday written all over it. Let's see what I can do about that. I can play Pedal, Ancient Tomb, disenchant the Pedal. I like that a lot. Let's see. Let's play a 2/2, kill the Pedal. Because if the opponent had Ritual Doomsday, they would have cast it. If they didn't care about the Pedal, they would have maybe held it. Right? So it's, yeah, let's see. Let's see how this goes. Trying to buy a little time here. Let's see. Brainstorm? Bowman. Sure, buddy. Okay. I'm not scared of Orcish Bowmasters in the flex slots of Doomsday. Let's see what we can do here. Next turn, I go Linebreaker, trample in. That's not bad. Opponent goes... I'm confused now. Undercity Sewers first. Okay, I will be taking notes here. In general, I think it's very strong to ponder first. Use Sewers to clear a bad card to make your ponder better. So K-Command is kind of good at milling out the opponent. But I don't think that's what I should be doing right now. I don't think I can worry about that. I think I need to put stuff on the board. So let's go Eldrazi, Linebreaker. Give the Linebreaker the plus because it has trample. Okay, I got forced here. That's annoying. I guess let's attack with this one. Double block, I assume. No double block. Okay. Here's Brainstorm. And Murktide Regent is annoying. I do have the Battle Mage, which is awesome. And the Obligator, I guess. So Martin's really digging. So essentially, the spot I want to get into is a spot where the opponent needs to Doomsday win on the spot. And that's exactly why Martin forced the Linebreaker, because that card is just so good at winning the following turn, essentially. Okay, here's Thoughtseize, which is very strong here. So, I just assume my opponent's last card is Doomsday. I think that's just what I should do. So let's see. The opponent took that card. And they attack. Wow, Linebreaker. Sick draw. Very sick draw. So play land, play Linebreaker. Attack for a bunch. Attack for 7. And then I feel like this card is insane against Doomsday Pass, and this card is good against Murktide Regent and Baragoyf. So I think I have my opponent right where I want him. Let's see if that's actually true. What have I learned? They pitched Tameo. They showed Bowmasters in the flex slots, so we did learn something here. Also known Doomsday player. So I feel like Martin will be leaning a lot into the Baragoyfs, and I'm not sure what I can do about it, but let's have a look at the deck. Chalice is just good, period. I want my flutes to name either Doomsday or Baragoyf. I like most of what's going on here. I think we can do a little bit of Smasher Battle Mage trimming. And then how do I get to, I guess I can cut a Spirit Guide here, and that we should be fine here. Dismember handles Baragoyf sometimes. Maybe that's good enough. Since I'm not getting wasted, I'm okay doing this. Maybe the mountain is expendable. We can try that. Cut the mountain. Maybe these smashers are a little bit too much. Smasher's a little bit too top-end heavy. Maybe like 1 Spirit Guide, 1 Battle Mage. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, I didn't do my full homework with this deck. It's a lot about keeping your plan intact and then using mild sideboarding. Let's see. This hand is probably decent. Bad against fast combo. I think that's something we have to accept. I could go turn 1 Fleshraker. Martin's on a mulligan. If I go turn 1 Fleshraker off of Temple and Petal, what am I setting myself up for? Then I don't have red for the Linebreaker. I actually think that's very bad. So that was a good realization. So we need to go Ayavugan Pass. Unless I'm scared about losing on the spot, in which case I should go Ancient Tomb Pass. Let's have a think about this. Ancient Tomb Pass. Next turn, Ayavugan. Play Flesh Raker. Play Pedal, play Line Breaker. Okay. So Ancient Tomb hedges for, you know, some goldfish kill out of my opponent. I think that's decent. I'm a little bit scared of Baragoyf, I must say. So here I'm just hoping this is some cantrip stuff, right? Thoughtseize. That card is very good. So K command is currently my only Doomsday interaction, but the damage from these other cards is substantial. I start getting in for, I don't know, 5 damage off the get. Okay, so they go for that plan. So now I think I should Cavern the Flesh Raker into play. Pedal, I guess, is fine. Pass the turn. So Force of Will still works if I'm trying to kill a Baragoyf. If I'm trying to kill a Murktide, that's not really going to happen. At that point, it's a pure race. I'm not too worried about removal spell, but, you know, could happen, of course. Here's Baragoyf. So my opponent needs... it's a terrible draw. My opponent needs Force of Will, and I think we should test them for having that card. So let's see. 5. I should probably crack this pedal as well. Do it for 4. Maybe that's bad logic. Maybe I should expect to get forced here, and then I'm building towards Ivugin better. Kozilek's command. I get a token. I have some nice blockers here, I must say. Baragoyf dead. These cards are very strong. So let me go top. That card is gone. Chalice of the Void for Uno. My top card is K Command. Underneath that is the bounce guy. So I'm trying to... So now the opponent basically needs to Doomsday me, which is going to be very hard. If they play more creatures, I feel like I have that covered. Linebreaker, the Thoughtseize target here. Tough to say whether Flesh Raker was the better card if you're playing as Baragoyf. I would guess it is. So let's see what this is. This needs to be some pretty serious Haymaker. Pretty serious Haymaker. Doomsday down to 5. So I need my K command to resolve or I'm dead. So if they have Force of Will, they played nicely. 5, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, they actually go to 1 here, which is very cool if they have the Force of Will. Consign is not online. Let's see. How much mana here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. So play Ayavugan. Play K command. I think this is plenty. Yeah, I think they're just dead if this resolves. And I think I'm dead if it doesn't, so let's see. K command. Make some guys, do that, yes. Force blue card. Gets my opponent to, I believe, 1 when the dust settles. No such luck, and we get there. Okay, yeah, this Thoughtseize decision ended up being very costly for my opponent. If they already had the Baragoyf, they need to take this card, because this card will just keep making, you know, random chump blockers buy time, and at that point, you know, then you're a Doomsday deck. I guess if they had both Doomsday and Baragoyf, it just seems like this Linebreaker card is only a good card against Doomsday. And if he's hitting me back with a Baragoyf, digging for the next one, I could be in trouble, but who knows? Magic always has 2 sides of the story, and you only get to see mine. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I had a lot of fun playing the Eldrazi deck. We got to aggro out some opponents. We got to get bested in the mirror and learn a little bit about that. And yeah, that's all I want to see when I'm playing Magic on the channel. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you back soon. And yeah, have a nice day.